What is going on today, guys? We finally have the last, has to be the last piece of the puzzle that we absolutely needed. I figured out that the laptop that we have is an absolute animal when it comes to wanting power, and it needs about 330 watts or something like that, which is ridiculous. So every time I would plug it into my inverter that I have right now, the power block would just start making all sorts of noises, not good noises. The problem to solve there, get a higher wattage inverter. So here in front of me, I've got one. Check this thing out. So this here is 1,000 watt Renogy, of course, had to match the rest of the stuff we got here in the van. So before we get into that, let's take out our old one and get the new one in. So I've already come back here and kind of did a little bit of test fitting. Obviously, this is my inverter right now. And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure what it is. I want to say it's like maybe a 650. All I know is it came from Harbor Freight. I already got my switches turned off in the van. Now I just need to unplug this thing, turn off all my power, and that new inverter is barely gonna fit in here, but we're gonna make it fit. If I gotta move something around a little bit, then so be it. We'll move some stuff around. It's going in there. All right, now that I got that thing off the wall, I'm gonna start by unplugging the solar stuff. So I'm gonna unplug the solar first, then unplug the battery. And the wire size on this inverter that we have right now is a little bit different, a little bit smaller than what we got. So I am going to swap that wiring out. Hopefully it fits in our, I believe this is my bus bar, and this is the wire I got to replace, and then obviously the one going to that. One of these is the bus bar. I'm not 100% sure what one is what, but I know one of them is. Alright, we got the old inverter out. We got the ground wire disconnected. Don't worry. I disconnected the battery too, just in case you were wondering. I already did that. The last step we gotta do is take this little box off here. And then I can take that out, our positive wire, and put our new one in there. Alright, let me kind of explain what I've got going here. You guys are probably gonna think I'm a nutbag and I'm crazy, but let me explain first. So first things first, before I took that out, I kind of looked at this wire, the wires that the new inverter comes with. Yes, obviously the new inverter is supposed to have the bigger wires. Well, what I'm gonna do is I've changed my mind. That wire I just showed you is not gonna fit into my bus bar, and I don't really have time to go out and get a new one. Or really I mean, I could do it, I could figure it out, but the only reason I switched from my old inverter to this new inverter, it wasn't necessarily for the power. It's because my old inverter is a modified sine wave, which is considered like dirty power or whatever. It's not consistent or something like that. And the new one is pure sine wave, so that's supposed to be a lot better. It is better for like high quality appliances, laptops, and stuff like that. So that's the main reason why I switched. I did not switch because I necessarily needed more power. Yes, it does help, but I think I'm going to be okay with using the wires that are in here because I'm never going to use this inverter here to its full potential. So I feel like I'll be fine. Obviously, I'll find out once I have everything hooked up if it's good or not. And we're going to find out. I'm doing this all on my own. No previous knowledge to doing any of this stuff. So if I can do it, you can do it. We got that mounted. It's definitely in there. I'm not gonna say that it's mounted professionally, but that ain't going anywhere. Took the ground and the power up and plug everything back in, and hopefully it works. We got the caps. We gotta do a little bit of trimming. I'm gonna trim just the face of it, so then when I go to put it over this, obviously it's supposed to go like that, but now our wires are sticking out this side rather than straight on, just because that's the way we could make it work. All right, if this ain't DIY, I don't know what the hell is. So we've got everything hooked up. I was only able to get this one on. I had to cut out a little spot on the bottom because the wire is supposed to go in from the front side. And as you can see, our wires don't come in from this way. So I had to modify these. I completely screwed the pooch on that one. I was supposed to trim this side of the clip and I ended up trimming that side. So I cut the flat side off, and yeah, whatever, it didn't work. But anyway, we've got this stuff plugged in. Everything is pretty much plugged in so far, besides, what are we missing? So we still need to hook our battery back up and hook our solar back up. But before we do that, we need to install this, which this is just an on-off switch. I'm pretty sure it'll tell you. You can turn it on with the button, and then it'll tell you if you got an issue, which we will find out when we plug in. Obviously, that's your power cable. The plan is obviously I've got this bench here, which actually I could put it behind like that, but then I won't be able to access it when the bed is down. So my idea was put it right here in this little slot. I just need to drill a hole big enough to fit the wire through it, and then we can run that back and plug it in. Let's do that real quick. I'm slowly starting to lose faith in Renogy. What the hell? When I got my solar panels, I was missing like 3 screws and they were all falling out for the charge controller. Obviously they were there, but nothing was tightened. And now I just plugged this in just to test fit it. Look at this. You press the little tiny clip. You guys probably can't see it, but typical like Ethernet, whatever. Press it, nothing. won't come out. I'm literally gonna rip the wires out of this thing before I get it. So now I gotta string all this wire through that hole. So that's what we're gonna do. Now that we got all that strung back here, I could plug this into the house. I got so much wire. All right, we got pretty much everything back together now. We got our battery hooked back up. We got our ground hooked back up. Got our cover back on. We got all that stuff hooked up. We got our remote wire hooked. We got our outlets plugged in. That fresh hole there you can see, that's where the remote comes through. We got our wires wrapped up, looking nice. At least as nice as we can get them. Come in here in the van. I've already got some 3M tape on here. Cleaned up my mess that was here from drilling the hole. Not much, but a little something. So now I'm gonna peel that tape off and set this baby in place. Alright, let's turn everything back on. Turn the power back on. See if she works. Last step here. Turn this guy on. See if the inverter works. Turned on. And our fridge turned on. Now let's make sure we ain't got any fires and see how hot these wires are getting, because we gotta make sure nothing's getting hot. Watch this. Hear that? Well, you shouldn't, because there's nothing wrong. It's running perfect. We can handle the laptop now, and right now it's bouncing. It's bouncing. Here, take a look. That ain't too bad for having a laptop and a fridge plugged in. Obviously the compressor on the fridge isn't going right now, but I don't even have to have the laptop really plugged in. I just needed to test it just to make sure that it was going to work. And it works phenomenal. Well, I figured we'd test out the old water heater since I haven't tested it. And I know what you're thinking. Well, why the hell haven't you tested it? Well, because I figured it worked. I replaced the batteries on it. It's got to work, right? Well, boy, does she work. She is a squirter out of the intake tube, where the intake goes for the water, and where it comes out. It's leaking out of both of them. So let's tighten them up and hope we don't have to take those fittings off. If we got to take them off, we'll just have to throw some thread tape on them and call it good. I'll let you know how this goes. Alright, so I got these two fittings off. Obviously, this is your outlet. This is the inlet. That's where the water goes in. That's where the water comes out. That makes a little bit more sense. So with these fittings, you can take them off and put them back on. You just press this little thing here, that yellow part, and that releases the pins and pushes them forward. If you can see those pins that are in there. So if you push this forward, that makes the pins lay flat on the inside. So they're reusable. Spit it out. So I found when I took this off, you see that rubber seal that's sitting in there? It was like smashed on the inside of that, which obviously is an incorrect install, which is why it was leaking. And then when I took this one off, there is no rubber seal. So I don't know if this one is ever gonna seal up. We're gonna find out here. I'm gonna throw some tape on there and then hook it all back up, and hopefully it doesn't leak. Just took this one apart, Just started rethreading it. Got that already taped up. Got this one taken apart. Now I just need to tape that up. Thread these back together, tighten them up. Well, I can't say it's the prettiest, and I redid that one line that goes to the inlet. I redid that one twice because I under tightened it or loosened it up, and then I ended up tightening it up. And it's back there at an angle a little bit, but that doesn't really matter because these fittings themselves can kind of move around. But right now, let's kick the water on and see what we got. See how many leaks we got. Hopefully none. What happened there? I see what happened. So, if I don't have water flowing and the pump doesn't stay running to circulate the water through it, it won't get running. Turn the water up a little bit. Let that run for a minute. Realize why the temperature was dropping, and you're probably wondering the same thing. Why I didn't have the gas on? But you know what? It works. The igniter works. We don't have any leaks anymore, so that's a plus. What do you say we load the dirt bike up and go for a ride at Zach's house at dark? Dirt bike all strapped up. Just gotta grab a few more things before I leave. But I think we're gonna leave tomorrow from Zach's house. It'll probably be almost dark by the time I get to Zach's because it's about an hour-and-a-half drive. So let's get after it. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up today's video, folks. It's been a little bit all over the place, maybe not so organized. I've kind of been doing things off and on all day. So I hope you enjoyed. If you made it this far in the video, greatly appreciated. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this video anywhere and everywhere if you want. It'd be greatly appreciated. I also have a Patreon if you want to support me on this journey, and I hope you all follow along. Until next time, you will see me going to South Dakota very shortly. I will be leaving tomorrow, and that's a word. I keep my promise. Thank you for watching. I'm Isaac. You just watched Firstborn Adventures. Have a great night.